What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here in the Odd Sharper channel, coming to you with a Friday end-of-week edition of MLB Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised of our great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. You might have noticed Lindy 30 instead of Lindy 5. I shall explain. Don't you worry your sweet bippy. But we had a sweep on Wednesday that was just epic proportions. And then Thursday, again, it was pretty light for the most part. Ben Rice hits a home run for us. That was on Lindy's Long Balls. If you follow me over on X at Eric Lindquist and in the premium Discord, of course, they get everything first, as they should. But you guys, Cincinnati, I mean, what are we doing here? Up 3-0. You made moves at the deadline, and then Atlanta just bludgeons you at the end. Andrew Abbott, 5 walks or some ridiculous shit. I mean, what are we actually doing here? He didn't even end up being the one who burned us. It was just the relievers there for Cincy. So that ended up being an L, but just a half-unit loss on that one. We're going to head to the evening window. Ended up on Randy Arozarena hit right when he was announced as the leadoff hitter. I thought Crawford, I'm so mad at myself for not shorting Crawford. I had a pretty good feel on that one. I had a feeling it was coming. I felt it coming, babe. But Randy Arozarena stolen base, that wouldn't hurt my feelings either against Rocker as well, who, I don't know, 0 caught stealings for him. 8 stolen bases against him. But that's neither here nor there. What is here is this deal. Now, Lindy 30, this is an opportunity for a month because the month of August begins today. That's August 1st. But $30 for a month with Lindy 30 instead of Lindy 5, which we've been running for a long, long time. Now, that makes it $1 a day, leading you all the way up to the beginning of the NFL season. So you want to take advantage? Head to the video description box below, sign up. Would love to see you there. $30 for a month of Lindy 30. But that's not all, folks. There's another link that is at the very top of the video description box. It is this, Tails. Getting a free month of Tails for every partner you sign up for. If you sign up for any of those books that exist on the right-hand side, DraftKings, Underdog, Profit X, just explaining it to you there, you would get 3 months. 3 months in that example of the Lindy and Friends Discord. That's $150 value for you. So you can take advantage, whichever tickles your fancy, $30 for a month, or say you've signed up for every single one of those books, you would be able to sign up over and use the Lindy 30 code. But otherwise, if you sign up and follow the instructions at the link below, you have an opportunity to get Lindy and Friends for free, in addition to all of the great amazingness that exists over at these books. I mean, pick'em sites as well, Sleeper, Better, Pick 6. You have an opportunity to get great things like Bet 5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. That's a very low barrier to be able to jump in. $5 at Pick 6, signing up for it for the first time would get you a $50 value. That is the Lindy and Friends Discord. Sound great? Cool, great, grand. I'll talk about it a little bit later as well, but let's get to the picks, shall we? Oh, yeah, that's right. We got to do this. Lindy 30 behind me, and I will get a better graphic for that tomorrow, but this graphic looks fantastic. Look at that. Beautiful. Anyway, we got Braves and Reds over 9. I'm going to be paying very close attention to this one because it's the early game, the very first one, and I'm very mad at Cincinnati, but we got Bryce Elder. It's the Elder Wand out there, and yeah, it's 11-3 right now, just getting bludgeoned now after being up 3-0 Cincinnati was. Could have probably bought in on that side of it. Brian Hayes hits a 3-run homer as I'm talking about him having no bat whatsoever in the premium Discord. That's so funny how that works. But Brady Singer also confirmed not good at singing or pitching. 90.5 exit velocity off the bat for everybody facing Brady Singer. 339 xWOB, a 9.7% barrel percentage. This is a wet noodle fight if I've ever seen one. Over 9, give me some bats potentially there. They went ballistic on Abbott. Ballistic there. Cookie Carrasco, he was good in AAA. Talked about it, though. He ends up going over that 2.5 earns run prop, but I didn't bet it. Again, it was only 3 games, so I'm not going to get too mad at myself for Thursday. Again, we got the Ben Rice home run. That was the big part. Waka, under 2.5 earned runs that I'm paying attention to here. Toronto, got to be a little surprising that they didn't do all that much. They went and got Ty France for my Twins, but who didn't get a piece of the Twins? It's like the Bonnie Blue of the MLB. Everybody jump on board, I suppose. A weird example to use, but Michael Waka, under 2.5 earned runs. I'm hip. I know things. The internet exists. Under 2.5 earned runs, though, man. Toronto, what are we doing? I wanted a little something more. You're in first place in the AL East. I know it's a gauntlet. I know that you're 14th in run differential, but I thought you'd do something. Michael Wacha's been all right, and some of the reverse splits that used to exist aren't really there anymore. Houston money line. Also, Toronto, we don't know who's starting yet. That's kind of why everything's skewed towards the early games. We don't even have a ton of these lines later coming up, but I'm going to talk you through some nuance, plus some offshore books had some stuff available, so I'll break it all down here anyway. Houston money line. This one is fascinating to me because they are favorites in a pretty decent spot here with Hunter Brown, and Hunter Brown's been brutality at times. We also are probably getting some weird formation of Boston. I mean, Boston really didn't do that much either. AL East was weird at the deadline, like scared to do anything. Tampa ended up firing off more bullets than anybody. Oh, I guess Ryan McMahon, it's more of like today. Yankees didn't do as much as what I was expecting for different things, but at least they were involved getting relievers and making some kind of moves. And Ryan McMahon, I said they acquired him earlier, but yeah, Houston, Boston, we're going to end up staying away for now. We'll see what happens with line movement overnight. Twins, Cleveland. I have 2 of these on this screen, and I have 3 total. This -1, -1.5. I really don't know how to take what I just saw from my Minnesota Twins. I technically should just be in a shell right now and not really talk to society, but I have to go to a dinner here in a minute, so I should probably get going. But I definitely don't feel like my Twins did anything wrong by completely unloading this team. I really don't. But who the hell's going to be playing for us tomorrow? I mean, yeah, we've got some interesting pieces. We got some AAA guys, and Brooks Lee's going to be an everyday player more than likely now. You can play him at short with no Carlos Correa getting shipped off, and we only ate, what, $30 million? I'm not writing the checks, and that's the way this MLB thing works, where I just want my team to acquire the best players, but totally understand if we're going to get a fire sale, if we're going to revamp, let's just fully revamp and play Mickey Gasper every day. Let's play Trevor Larnach every day, even in platoon spots. And you've got Gavin Williams, who's been striking out everybody, but Joe Ryan was put on the shelf, and now I think we just pitched Joe Ryan here, so that's got me staying away overall from Cleveland. What a time to be alive. We didn't even trade the guy who would have got us the biggest haul coming back, but whatever. It's going to be more than $3 million next year. I already said that in the Discord as well. I don't mean to like respawn my thoughts, but it's true. The Yankees taking on the Marlins here in South Beach, and I don't love this spot whatsoever for the Yankees. Yeah, they got some pieces back there. Stanton going back to his old home where he hit many a bomb, but even with Jansen Junk out there, who's terrible, I think they'll quick hook him if need be here on the Miami side. They got rid of Jesus Sanchez, and some of these numbers are just asinine on the Yankee side, even on the road. More of a parlay piece if you really want it, but this is the one that I want to start highlight circle. Giants get rid of Mike Yastrzemski. He was left on left for this game, so it's not necessarily going to matter, but we got Robbie Ray up against David Peterson. I think the Robbie Ray walk thing is going to come into play here at some point in time, and the Mets go out and get Cedric Mullins. Does he 9-hole it up here in this spot? Do they actually put him out in the field against a lefty? We'll see. We'll see. That's the only thing that's really keeping me away from this one. Otherwise, I think the Mets, like an aggressive play on the Mets with that revamped bullpen, makes some sense. Let's go over here. Dodgers, Rays, Morel home run. I think they're... Did you watch the number? It's like the Walking Dead out there. And thank God we got the Ben Rice home run because, I mean, Brandon Lowe didn't have remotely competent at-bats. Not that I care about that, but like Yandy Diaz gets hit on the forearm. He's out of that one. I doubt he plays tomorrow. You got Jonathan Aranda, hurt his wrist, now going to miss time. It was just a disaster day. And then Caballero gets traded in-game. Absolute insanity to the team that he's playing too, which is funny, but Jose Caballero adds speed that the Yankees just never really had. He'll probably be a guy who just pinch runs and steals in a lot of these spots, and a little bit of Volpe insurance against, like, I don't know, 84,926 errors that he's probably put up this year. Good times had by all. But I think this opens up a spot for Christopher Morel to potentially play even without it being a platoon, and you get Clayton Kershaw up there for at least 2, maybe 3 at-bats if he's batting third, maybe fourth here. That's what Tampa's been doing. I think it's a little bit interesting. We got Hunter Goodman here. Oh, by the way, Shane Baz on the other side against the Dodgers. Pay attention to his reverse splits. I had that note too, but I forgot to throw it in. Hunter Goodman, we're going to Coors Field. Andrew Heaney, going up against Anthony Senzatella, who's just terrible in this game. It's inflated as it should be, and Hunter Goodman's probably unbettable at his opening numbers because I went back to his Coors numbers, but it's still my favorite play that exists from this pretty efficient game at the moment. Luis Robert Jr. did not get traded. A lot of ado about nothing. And then the Angels, the On Hills, they end up just standing pat. And I'm sure all those OC people have to go to their $3 million homes and cry a river about the fact that they didn't trade away Adele, trade away Mike Trout. Mike Trout's never going anywhere, more than likely. Probably just going to retire at Angel. Doesn't really want to win baseball games. But that's neither here nor there. I just had to throw that dig in because the Angels have no fucking clue what they're doing. They're going to be throwing out Anderson today. Tyler Anderson, Mr. Anderson. As for the White Sox, what are you doing, bro? Weird deadline. Also, fantastic deadline. It was a lot going on. Speaking of a lot going on, San Diego, they were the main people who fired up everything in the book. Still haven't released a number on this. I think it ends up being a pretty good matchup. I think it ends up being a pretty good spot to back Nick Pivetta against St. Louis, but St. Louis ended up keeping everybody. Alec Burleson, he was always going to stay there. Von Herrera was always going to stay there. But Brendan Donovan, very surprised that he ended up staying there. We'll see why. They're not going to get to the playoffs, so have fun with that. But San Diego, Baltimore West, that's basically what we're rolling out on a day in, day out basis. Let's go to the Kurtz and Arizona, who parted with some pieces, didn't part with as many as I thought. They could have fired off a couple of more dudes if they really wanted to. Merrill Kelly going to be starting because he didn't end up getting traded. It's Zach Gallen, a couple of other people that they end up sending away. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, Merrill Kelly. Let me double check this because something's wrong in my sheet. These are the beautiful things about doing it live, right? Yeah, Merrill Kelly just got traded to Texas. I don't know why my brain had that listed as it. Anyway, Baseball Savant had it listed wrong, so it is what it is. I knew the whole time that I was going to be looking at San Diego with Pivetta, who's definitely confirmed. St. Louis, whatever. But yeah, Arizona and the A's. Again, I just wanted to double check some of my trade information. Kurtz walk. The main reason that this one exists is because Kurtz is going to get respect. He's number one in terms of WRC plus over the last month against right-handed pitching. And even though it's not going to be Merrill Kelly out there, I think Anthony DeSclafani's been all right. But is he going to be all right in a starter capacity if he ends up being the guy here? I don't know. But again, books don't have anything for this evening window. So probably will by the time you hear this, and you'll be like, oh, Eric, you're an idiot. These are leans. We got 3 plays for you. I'm very excited about those. Texas, Seattle, that rounds it all out here. Castillo, this is like my deep shot that I would be taking. I think Jack Leiter, probably going to be getting quick hooked or potentially moved to the bullpen now that they acquired Merrill Kelly. But I do think that this is a spot with the Texas money line where you're getting massive plus money in a low variance baseball park, and everybody and their dog knows that Seattle just got way better by the Eugenio Suarez acquisition and the Josh Naylor acquisition. That lineup looks ridiculous, and I'm glad that they plummeted J.P. Crawford to the 8-hole today. But Texas money line is going to be nobody believed in us. And Texas, they made some moves. They weren't exactly standing pat, so they're actively going out there trying to win baseball games. So shout out them. I think they actively have a good chance at a big plus money number here against one of the better pitchers in baseball, no doubt about it, not Castillo, Mr. Gilbert, Logan Gilbert. But again, just a lean. These teams are doing us no favors. Are Cincinnati trying to come back in this game? It's now 11-11. Oh my God, it's 11-11? What? Lindy 30, everybody. Lindy 30, let's go. Lindy 30, $30 for a month. What just happened? What the fudgety fudge? Guys, jump into the premium Discord. We might win that bet after all. No freaking way. I am here and I am scared. What the hell? What? Okay. Well, also we have the link join. You guys can sign up for that as well. Get a month free of Tails for every partner you sign up for. If you sign up for Underdog, you'll get a month. If you sign up for DraftKings, which most people have signed up for, you get a month. Bet365, damn good fine. I go sock it to you one more time. You simply follow the instructions. There's 3 simple things you got to do. You just have to sign up these books and then send the proof of concept, your sign up email, as well as getting yourself access, friends, to the first bet. You simply send a screenshot to the first bet, support@oddsshopper.com, and we'll get you hooked up. Can't wait. Would love to have you in the Discord for free just by signing up with one of our partners. Alrighty, y'all. Let's get to the actual play, shall we? What the hell? Cincinnati just tied 11. No way. No freaking way. Okay, I might be running really hot this week now. I mean, that changed on a dime Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wow. Baltimore +1.5 taking on the Cubbies here. And yeah, shout out Sportside Jacob. This is going to be a lean. I had it as a lean on the graphic, and then he talked me into it. So let's walk through. We're not even going to talk about my notes. Let's talk a little bit about his notes. Obviously, the Cubbies, when you go left on left, not that big of a difference, except for it's a chasm of a difference because Tucker, Pete Crow Armstrong, they're two of your best three hitters there. Suzuki in the middle of it. You neutralize these lefties. Michael Busch will not be leading off, and you go Horner. Me, so Horner. But you have an opportunity to take on the Cubbies here with the wind blowing in, 8.5 run total. And yeah, it was a little juice heavy there where we ended up playing it out in the premium Discord. But Trevor Rogers is on the mound, and he's looking real nice to me. In fact, he completely shuts down lefties. We'll see how many lefties they end up rolling out. Cubs, they're pretty quiet at the deadline. Under 8.5 in advantageous pitching conditions tomorrow. Oh, as for the Cubbies there, just to like touch on the pitching situation, just want to let you know, it's a fascinating one. Very fascinating one here in the early window. Horton. Me, so Horton. Kind of worked for both. It's a fun bit. You won't be crazy long for this one, but also he's been better than some of his metrics, and apparently he's good at home, but I don't really care about that stuff as much. He should be because he hasn't had a pitch with the wind blowing out in Wrigley, it would appear, over the course of this season. All right, Milwaukee, Washington. This is probably my favorite play that exists on the board for tomorrow, and it's a home run play. We've got Mitchell Parker on the Washington side of things going up against Jose Quintana. And Jose Quintana, friends, well, he gets a nice fortuitous steal when you have Abrams and Wood up top, and Wood apparently just went to heaven over the course of the second half of this season post All-Star break. 15.8% K rate doesn't really matter with his pitch mix and being left-handed against those two. Luis Garcia, obviously, maybe in there against lefty. They end up getting rid of Alex Call, which doesn't apply to anything here. Good OPS numbers, but whatever. We're going to move on our merry way to the Milwaukee side, taking on Mitchell Parker. And what did I have for the exact notes here? Oh, yeah, Mitchell Parker. Confirmed not very good at the pitching of the baseballs with a 205 expected ISO against righties. Just a 173 ISO that's shown out so far and a 15.3 degree launch angle. And Andrew Vaughn should be moving up in the order to like the 2-3 hole here as they have injuries everywhere. Do they really want to go Collins in the 2 hole the rest of the way? No, you don't. Andrew Vaughn was a very serviceable hitter with the White Sox, and then he just, died and went to heaven himself. So Andrew Vaughn home run. Anything better than plus 345 is going to be on the card for tomorrow. That's a spicy meatball. What an acquisition for them for the low price of like shipping out Adrian Hauser, who's just like, oh, I'm mad. He's like a high school basketball player whose dad goes and talks to the coach because, oh, my son's not getting playing time. Oh. Except for it was the actual player being a little beat. Anyway, Detroit taking on Philly to round it out. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell as we go to Detroit +1.5 taking on Philly. And this one is also a fantastic play in my opinion. And it's also a prop. And it's a little juice heavy right now, but I would play this at the 6.5 number if that's where you get it here because you're going to get plus money to it. What am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about strikeouts. And not on the Detroit side with Jack Flaherty. I'm sure he wants to go out and spin a gem here. Some scary lefties, obviously, in the Phillies lineup at the top of it. I never get them right, so don't even ask me. But Ranger Suarez going up against Detroit here. Detroit, they were more reliever heavy than anybody else over the course of the deadline here. Did a lot there. Didn't really acquire a bat. Didn't really go out of their way to try to go get Eugenio Suarez when he was available there. It was a little surprising to me. You're playing Zach McKinstry there every day, which good lefty, but you can play him in the outfield as well. Lots of other places where he's functional. Ranger Suarez over 5.5 strikeouts. This is just so nasty at -150 even. If you want to go to the 6.5 number for plus money, just fine with that as well. But I think Ranger Suarez finds the case against this Detroit team that, for the most part, I mean, they haven't been abysmal by any means here when you look at their K stuff. Like, not abysmal by any means, but It's going to be more so here if Kerry Carpenter and Riley Green are both in the lineup. So be paying attention to that, my friends. Let's get the heck up out of here. But Lindy 30, that's what you sign up for. $30 for a month. Would love to see you guys there in the premium Discord. And of course, that link join sitting there. So if you've signed up at all of these books, go ahead. Lindy 30 is the path. That's $1 a day leading you into the NFL season. You get me for MLB for an entire month, and I do not take days off. But you've also got this amazing link join. You sign up for any of our partners, ProfitX. Great sweepstakes exchange, if you will. Caesars Sportsbook, obviously more traditional book. DraftKings, FanDuel. If you haven't signed up for the biggies, this is a great time. And obviously, you've got the pick'em sites as well in some of the other states. Better, Sleeper. Would love to see their chalkboard as well, part of the affiliate program. All righty, let's get ourselves the heck up out of here. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know if you swept the board with me on Wednesday. That felt really good. And Thursday, this might be the most ridiculous come from behind stuff I've ever seen in my life. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Friday. Happy weekend. See you back here Monday.